Ambassador Vexthor stood before the Galactic Council, his three eyes blinking in confusion. For 200 cycles he had studied the humans, and for 200 cycles the same question haunted him. The humans were strong, technologically advanced, and capable. Yet in all recorded history, they had never once initiated a conflict with another species. "It makes no sense," Vexthor said to the assembled delegates. "They have the weapons, they have the ships, they have the resources, but they sit quietly on their little blue world and its colonies, trading, talking, and avoiding confrontation." Council Speaker Zarathen, a being of pure energy contained in a crystalline form, hummed thoughtfully. "Perhaps they are simply a peaceful species. Not all races are driven by conquest." "But that's just it," Vexthor insisted. "They're not naturally peaceful. Their own history is soaked in blood. They fought themselves for thousands of years. Yet the moment they joined the galactic community, all that aggression just stopped." The Krell representative, a massive reptilian creature, laughed. "Maybe they finally grew up. Maybe they realized that war is primitive." Vexthor's scales rippled with frustration. He had watched human soldiers train. He had seen their war games, their simulations, their strategic academies. The humans studied warfare like other species studied art. They were good at it, incredibly good. Yet they never used it. The mystery deepened over the next 50 cycles. The Zeltron Empire expanded aggressively, claiming system after system. They pushed into human territory, taking 3 colony worlds. The Council waited for the human response, for the declaration of war that never came. Instead, the humans filed diplomatic protests and retreated. "Cowards," the Zeltron High Commander declared. "They fear our might." But Vexthor saw something else in the human ambassador's eyes during those meetings. Not fear, something colder, something patient. The Zeltrons grew bolder. They attacked human cargo ships. They established military bases in human space. They made demands, expecting surrender. The humans gave ground, negotiated, and withdrew. The entire galaxy began to view them as weak. Then the Zeltrons made their fatal mistake. They attacked Earth itself, not the planet, thankfully, but the orbital stations around it. Thousands of civilians died in the bombardment. The Zeltron High Commander broadcasted his message across all channels. "Surrender your territory or your homeworld burns next." For 3 days, there was silence from Earth. The Council held emergency sessions. Some members suggested accepting human refugees when Earth fell. Others debated how to divide human territory after the Zeltrons took it. Vexthor waited. Something in him knew that silence was dangerous. On the 4th day, the human ambassador requested an emergency council session. Ambassador Chen walked to the center of the chamber with calm, measured steps. Her face showed no anger, no fear, no emotion at all. "The United Earth government thanks the Council for its previous attempts at mediation," Chen said quietly. "However, we will no longer require your intervention in this matter. The Zeltron Empire has committed an act of war against our civilians. We are formally responding." "You're declaring war?" Zara then asked, surprised. "No," Chen replied. "War was declared when they killed our people. We are simply informing you that we will now demonstrate what human warfare actually looks like." The Council erupted in confusion. The Krell representative laughed again. "You think your small defense fleet can challenge the Zeltron Armada?" Chen turned to face him. "We don't have a defense fleet. We have a military that has been preparing for interstellar warfare since before we left our own solar system. We simply chose never to use it." Within 6 hours, the galaxy understood what she meant. The human First Fleet materialized from quantum space jumps. Not hundreds of ships, but thousands. Massive carriers, destroyers, cruisers, and vessels of designs no one had ever seen. They had been hidden, waiting, in deep space positions throughout the galaxy. But the ships were just the beginning. The Zeltron High Commander, confident in his numerical superiority, ordered his fleets to engage. The battle lasted 17 minutes. Human ships moved with precision that seemed impossible. Their weapons fire was perfectly coordinated. Their tactics were flawless. But what terrified the watching galaxy was not their skill. It was their ruthlessness. Human ships targeted Zeltron command vessels first, decapitating their leadership in the opening salvo. They used viral cyber weapons that spread through enemy systems, turning Zeltron ships against each other. They deployed drone swarms that operated with hive mind efficiency. They used psychological warfare, broadcasting messages that made Zeltron crews abandon their posts. And they showed no mercy. Every Zeltron military installation in human space was obliterated within the first day. Not captured, not disabled, destroyed completely, with no survivors. Vexthor watched the tactical displays in horror and awe. This was not a battle. This was extermination. The Zeltron Empire tried to rally, tried to defend their homeworlds. The humans didn't invade. They didn't need to. They cut off supply lines, destroyed infrastructure from orbit, and systematically dismantled 500 years of Zeltron civilization in 3 weeks. The Council called for a ceasefire. The humans ignored them. They had tried diplomacy, tried peace. That time was over. Finally, the Zeltron Empire sued for unconditional surrender. The High Commander himself broadcasted his plea across all channels, begging the humans to stop. The human fleet stopped, immediately. Not a single additional shot was fired. The terms of surrender were brutal. The Zeltron Empire was dismantled. Their military was disbanded. Their territory was placed under Council supervision, and they were required to pay reparations that would take generations to complete. But here was what shocked the galaxy. The humans took nothing for themselves. They didn't claim territory. They didn't demand tribute. They simply ensured the Zeltrons could never threaten anyone again, then withdrew. At the emergency council session that followed, Ambassador Chen stood once more before the assembled delegates. "Many of you wondered why humans never start wars," she said calmly. "Let me explain. We learned, through thousands of years of killing each other, exactly how terrible we are at it. We learned every possible way to hurt, to destroy, to break an enemy completely." She paused, looking at each delegate in turn. "And we hated ourselves for it. When we finally achieved peace on Earth, we made a promise. Never again would we be the aggressors. Never again would we strike first. We would exhaust every possible diplomatic solution before resorting to violence. But," she continued, her voice harder now, "we also made another promise. If someone forced war upon us, if they targeted our civilians, if they gave us no choice but to fight, we would fight with everything we learned in those dark centuries. We would fight not to win territory or glory, but to ensure that particular enemy could never threaten us or anyone else ever again." Vexthor finally understood. The humans weren't peaceful by nature. They were peaceful by choice, by tremendous effort and will. But that choice came with a warning that the Zeltrons had ignored. Don't make them choose war. "You see," Chen said quietly, "humans don't start wars, but we finish them." The council chamber was silent. Every delegate understood the message. Humanity would remain peaceful, would continue to seek diplomatic solutions, would be the galaxy's partners in trade and exploration. But if anyone ever attacked them again, if anyone ever forced them to abandon peace, the consequences would be absolute. As Vexthor left the chamber that day, he finally had his answer. Humans never started wars because they knew exactly how good they were at it, and that terrified them more than any external enemy ever could. The galaxy learned its lesson. In the 300 cycles that followed, not a single species raised arms against humanity. Not because humans were aggressive or threatening, but because everyone now understood the difference between choosing peace and being incapable of war. Humanity had chosen peace, but they remained ready for war, and that made all the difference.